you wanted, like my sponsor, Steel Supplements, link, discount code down in the description. You also know I've spoke so many times about my Glance LED going to change the way you do just about everything. You want to watch Thursday Night Football tonight? You can do it. Constantly updated with everything else going on in the world of sports. News, stocks, you name it. All you need to do is plug the unit in, tell it what you want to see. Absolutely zero subscription fee. It is going to keep you up to date at a glance. I let this sit for a whole day. I used to do this a lot. I used to really be on these title updates, and then I realized that EA Sports has slowly destroyed, I mean, literally gutted the football gaming community. Channels that used to get a lot of views get half that. Channels that used to get decent views don't get them. Some creators packed up and went. Why? Because we got not only one, but we got two subpar football games to play. And you can understand this better by looking at these notes. And what we're updating October 16th, month into the NFL season. This game has had years to be refined, and yet we're still having constant issues. Remember Sapient technology? Remember Amazon Web Services, AWS? All of this was going to create this fundamental base for exceptional, lifelike player movements and reactions. And yet we still have issues where players, in EA's own words, react inappropriately. What does this mean? If you followed my channel, you know for a very long time, I've constantly told EA, you need to be specific with what you're changing. You can't just tell us that you're changing this. Okay, fixed an issue causing some press animations. What was the issue? Fixed an issue preventing the switch stick delay setting from saving correctly after changing in the menu settings. How does one replicate that? Tuning to improve deep zone defender positioning. What did you tune? What was wrong? And it's not just on the defensive side of the ball. Fixed an issue causing linebackers to appear to float in the air too long on jumping interceptions. This is one I really want to talk about because if you know this game, 10 years ago, we had a massive problem with linebackers that literally could just leap a small building in the middle of the field. So when you say the issue caused linebackers to appear, right? Appear to float is a very strange term, you understand. So were they appearing like they were floating and they weren't? Or were they floating higher than EA expected and intercepting these passes? Because if it's just an optics thing, right? If it just looks like they're going higher than they should, who cares? Right? Who cares? It's a video game. Something doesn't seem right with some of these fixes. I understand that they're going to add in a lot of things, okay? So when you go and you see fixed an issue, leaving the tight end uncovered when using cover 2 shell or a cover 1 coverage. If you had just put in cover 2, if you had just put in cover 1 coverage, if they hadn't been in the game for probably 20 years, I would understand, right? If we're talking about, 2015, 2016, and you're making adjustments to the Wildcat, I understand. But making adjustments now to cover defenses, shells that just about every player uses, and you have an issue, not just with the tight end, but fixed an issue, leaving an inside receiver uncovered when using cover 0. Cover 0, by definition, should leave someone uncovered. But what they're basically telling you is we had an issue with our game's logic where the same receiver in the same position, regardless of team, regardless of defense, regardless of situation, was being left open all the time. How do you get a game to a point that it's that bad? I don't know. I know that we're there. I know that I can look around the community and I can see that interest is just dead when it comes to this game. People are tired of a broken product. And more importantly, not only are they tired of a broken product, they're being sold the promise of a better product. They're being tired of being sold a better product. Then not only not receive that better product, but have to deal with throughout the year EA's attempts, failed in most cases, to improve their game. And why do I say they're failed? Well, because we have to go back to these same exact issues. And we're talking about simple things. Fixed an issue where the controller would still vibrate after the vibrate setting was toggled off. Think about this for just a moment. You go into your settings and you turn something off, and it doesn't work at all. Now, some people might have had this happen and think, hey, was that the console? Was that my controller? How many people would think that it's the game? Oh, no, no, no. It's not the controller. It's not the console. It's just the game that doesn't know how to turn things on and off. And does this not go hand in hand with all of the settings in this game? All of the thresholds never seemingly working. Because now we can see that you're turning things on and off and they don't work from a console perspective. So how do you expect to turn things on and off from an in-game perspective and have them work? Playbook tuning, but again, we're still just focused on minute things, right? Updated various typos and inconsistencies in play names. How? Why? When? How can you literally have someone put their hands on all of these parts of the game, right? I'm not just talking about Clint. I'm talking about how many people test this game, how many people sign up for the open betas, and yet you still have typos and inconsistencies in the game at all. I understand there's going to be some, but when there's various to the point that you don't even bother to list them, and that's one of the last things I want to focus on, is so many of these things are just open-ended that we get down to the infamous general stability improvements. And this has been probably my biggest gripe with EA. The reason everything is listed here is because everything needed to be fixed, okay? There were instances where wrong messages would come up, player of the week, sacks, rushing attempts. There were issues where just graphically the game wasn't doing the right thing. How do you get from that to general stability fixes? Where are you drawing the line? Because overall, the more and more we see this, the worse and worse the game looks. When you're sitting there and your priorities are, get the Nike Superbad 7 gloves in the game, get the Jordan Flylock 2.0s, get the Adidas Electric 1s in the game. But you also know that captain's patches aren't working. You also know that you've got issues where there's commentary bugs that don't even apply correctly to timeouts, incomplete passes, touchdowns, player names. You know that you've got an issue where stadiums get rebranded in the NFL and your commentary doesn't even acknowledge it. Who cares about cleats and gloves when you have a game that's leaving receivers open by its own design? Who cares about a player likeness when you go to turn something off in the menu and it doesn't turn off? EA Sports, it's beyond time. If this community has not let you know, I know there's still a few people out there that desperately cling to the sinking ship that is EA Sports and want to tell you how great it is, and want to tell you how great it's going to be, and want to tell you in a 10-minute video all the wonderful things that have been done and how you're going to love the game now. I've always been here to tell you the opposite. No, you disliked this game before. You likely hate this game now. And they sit there and they pacify us with meaningless changes, with improvements that should have never been broken in the first place, and they expect everyone to run up and hug them and pat them on the back and say, Clint, great job. Great job, Clint. You realize that the Brown Stadium changed. How incredible. How amazing of you. If any one of us in the real world did their job as poorly as EA Sports does their job, there is no doubt in my mind there would never be a 10, 15, 20-year career we would speak about. You would be out the door in 2 months. Yet because EA Sports is solely dependent on exclusivity agreements with both college and the National Football League. They are allowed to put out a beyond subpar product that they have to continue to attempt to fix throughout the year just to get the game almost playable, and in the meantime, look as if they're competent at building a game. And that's why I can't make a video every single day like I used to. Because this game is so bad, at some points it gets redundant. And EA knows how bad it is in their very own updates. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you watching this video. When you know EA Sports doesn't know where the Cleveland Browns play, there is no way I will not be back in the week with more commentary.